There are characters that make you feel every emotion under the sun, and then there are characters that make you want to throw your remote at the screen. Netflix has given us some of the most compelling, heartbreaking, and downright infuriating characters in recent television history. And the fan base has made their opinions crystal clear. Today, we're breaking down the 5 most loved and 5 most hated characters dominating Netflix conversations right now. And starting with someone who has captured hearts in the most unexpected way. Will Byers, the heart that finally got its spotlight. Will Byers from Stranger Things. Season 5 has become the emotional core that fans didn't know they desperately needed. For years, Will existed on the periphery of his own story, always the victim, always the one being saved, never quite getting the depth that characters like Eleven or Dustin received naturally. Season 5 changed everything. The moment in episode 4 where Will finally steps into the spotlight had fans sobbing into their pillows at 3 in the morning, posting tear-soaked reactions across every social media platform imaginable. What makes Will so beloved now is that the writers finally gave him agency, finally let him be more than just the kid who got stuck in the upside down. His arc this season explores vulnerability without making him weak, showcases his intelligence without turning him into a stereotype, and gives him emotional beats that resonate with anyone who has ever felt overlooked. The fan base has rallied around Will with an intensity that rivals the love for any other character in the series, creating edits, writing fan fiction that explores his journey, and defending his storyline against anyone who dares criticize it. This is what happens when a show respects a character's potential and finally delivers on years of setup. Will Byers earned his place as one of the most loved characters through genuine emotional storytelling other than flashy heroics. That is different when you've watched him struggle for 5 entire seasons. And if you're already feeling emotional, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're about to switch gears completely to someone the fan base absolutely cannot stand. Bryce Walker, 13 Reasons Why. Justin Prentice playing Bryce Walker in 13 Reasons Why gave Netflix one of its most universally despised characters, and for once the hatred was completely justified by the horrific actions the character committed throughout the series. Bryce wasn't just an antagonist. He was a serial rapist whose crimes against Hannah Baker, Jessica Davis, and other victims formed the traumatic core of the show's darkest moments. What made Bryce so deeply hated wasn't just his actions, but the entitled, privileged attitude he carried while committing them, using his wealth and social status to avoid consequences while his victims suffered in silence. The audience's hatred for Bryce was righteous and uncomplicated until the show made a catastrophically bad decision in season 3 by attempting to give him a redemption arc that felt like a slap in the face to everyone who had watched his victim struggle. Fans erupted in fury at the idea that someone who had caused such irreparable harm deserved sympathy or understanding, viewing the redemption attempt as a fundamental misunderstanding of accountability and the gravity of sexual violence. When Bryce died in season 3, many viewers openly celebrated because his presence had become a constant reminder of trauma that the show kept forcing audiences to revisit. This is what genuine audience hatred looks like when a character crosses moral lines that no amount of backstory or humanization can excuse. DCP Vartika Chaturvedi, the performance that defines excellence. Shif Ali Shah, returning as DCP Vartika Chaturvedi in Delhi Crime Season 3, shows what happens when an actor completely understands their character and uses that control to deliver something exceptional. Vartika isn't just a police officer solving cases. She's a fully formed person, trying to hold on to her humanity in a system that constantly tests it. Shah brings a heavy, lived-in presence to every scene, making you believe she's felt the weight of every case on her shoulders. Both Indian and international audiences have praised her with near reverence because performances like this are rare anywhere. Vartika connects with viewers because she shows competence without arrogance, authority without cruelty, and dedication that doesn't destroy her. She makes mistakes, learns from them, and keeps going. Fans have filled social media with posts celebrating moments where Shah conveys entire emotional arcs with just her expressions and posture, the kind of subtle skill that separates great actors from everyone else. What makes Vartika stand out is how the writing and Shaw's performance reveal the emotional toll of her work without reducing her to a victim. She carries scars, but never lets them define her sense of justice. Shefali Shah's portrayal has created a character audiences don't just love, they genuinely respect, root for, and remember long after the season ends. Emily Cooper, the American everyone loves to hate. Lily Collins playing Emily Cooper in Emily in Paris has become one of the most polarizing protagonists Netflix has ever produced, and not in the fun way where audiences are divided between loving and hating her. Emily manages to unite viewers across continents in their shared frustration with her complete inability to function as a respectful human being in a foreign country. What makes Emily so universally irritating is her refusal to adapt to French culture. Despite literally moving to Paris for work, acting like her American way of doing things is inherently superior, while making zero effort to learn the language or understand basic cultural norms. Fans and French media alike have torn into Emily for being arrogant, entitled, and just straight up immoral at times, treating Paris like her personal playground rather than a real city with real people who have every right to be annoyed by her behavior. The character stumbles through scenarios where she's objectively terrible at her job but somehow gets rewarded anyway, creating this disconnect where the show insists she's this marketing genius while showing her make tone-deaf decision after tone-deaf decision. What really pushes Emily into hated territory rather than just annoying is that the show never seems aware of how unlikable she is, presenting her cultural ignorance and self-centered choices as charming quirks rather than the legitimate character flaws they represent. Gong Ji-hyeok, the romantic lead who actually earns it. Jang Ki-young as Gong Ji-hyeok in Dynamite Kiss delivers the kind of romantic lead performance that reminds viewers why this genre works when it's done well. Ji-hyeok isn't just charming and attractive, he's emotionally open, genuinely kind, and never written as weak or bland. Fans adore him because Jang Ki-young plays him as someone who truly listens, notices the small things, and treats his love interest like a full person rather than a prize. The chemistry he builds comes from quiet, natural moments instead of oversized scenes designed for trailers. K-drama fans went wild for Ji-hyeok because he represents soft masculinity without losing strength. He's vulnerable without collapsing, supportive without being walked over. Clips of his best scenes have millions of views, with fans calling him the new standard. What sets Ji-hyeok apart is the specificity Jang Ki-young brings. Every choice feels grounded in his character's past and how he loves it. It never feels like a checklist, but like watching a real person fall in love in a messy, beautiful, authentic way. Kali, the storyline nobody asked to return. Kali, also known as 8, returning in Stranger Things. Season 5 is one of the most confusing creative choices Netflix has made. Her Season 2 episode was widely seen as the show's worst detour, a sudden tonal shift that yanked 11 out of the main story, right when things were getting exciting. Fans blasted it as filler and a momentum killer, so when the writers decided to bring her back, the internet reacted with immediate frustration. This isn't about taste anymore, it's about the show ignoring years of clear audience feedback. Kaylee represents a forced character arc that never worked. Her powers look cool, but feel emotionally flat, especially compared to the depth other characters offer. Her worldview clashes with the show's core themes in ways that feel annoying instead of meaningful. Fan threads instantly filled with "Why is she back?" posts. For many viewers, her return feels less like a bold comeback and more like reopening a wound everyone hoped the show had learned from. And with this, we have come to an end. Make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into what's trending on streaming platforms, and drop a comment telling us which characters you think deserve spots on this list, because your opinions are what make this community worth being part of.